Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Ripple and XRP, as well as the vast majority of crypto and finance. And with that being said, before we dive into this video, I do want to ask all of you out there for a little bit of help. Let's try to get as many likes on this video as possible to help out the algorithm. I will greatly appreciate that. I have been very thankful for all of those that have been watching the content and supporting the channel as of recent. We are closing in on 100,000 subscribers, and it is absolutely incredible to see. Thank you to everyone out there that constantly is watching the content, watching the channel, following up on the channel, and keeping up with all of the updates. I do greatly appreciate all of you. With that being said, let's start off with this tweet here. So, Charles Schwab has been a big thing that has been on my radar. Why? Because they are the #1 in terms of bank holdings. Check this out. So this is HTM portfolio losses, bank holding companies. If we look here, Charles Schwab is #1 with total losses right now sitting at 197%. This is a huge deal. And we do see here from Finance Lancelot, Charles Schwab, #1, probably nothing, held to maturity losses. And yeah, if we actually go back 7 days ago, 1 week, I posted this over on Twitter and I said, breaking, Charles Schwab owes 130% of their total equity capital to short duration FHLB loans. This is due to be paid back soon. Total assets are $350 billion. Could this be our modern day Lehman Brothers? It's good to note that they have recently started to lay off staff and close offices. And here you guys have the report. We had 130.48% here. And then over here we have, of course, Charles Schwab plans to cut jobs, close offices as downturn hits Wall Street. So this is actually a pretty big, significant thing to watch for. I think that this is going to be, I mean, this could very well be a black swan event brewing. We have no idea, but I will say this. Liquidity is getting tight. What do you see from Finance Lancelot? He's quoting the original source of the last tweet. And what do you see? Current unrealized losses in the U.S. banking system is $1.8 trillion out of the only 2.2 trillion capital. With corporate taxes due on September 15th and possible government shutdown October 2nd, the general public has no idea the banks are already insolvent, entering a nightmare liquidity scenario in October. The thing that I want to mention around this, and listen, I don't like to tie XRP to every single thing around the world, but I will say this. There is a secret weapon that could very well be utilized. What I do think is going to happen with this liquidity crisis that is brewing, it is a global one. We are most likely going to start to see a big push on with CBDCs, digital assets, stablecoins, you name it. We are starting to see regulations coming into effect. We see a lot of regulatory frameworks being, drawn up. September is a big moment for that. I did talk about that recently. There's a lot of things happening around the digital asset sector, and I want you all to realize that this is happening all at a significant moment in time with the BRICS, the US CBDC efforts. All of this, in my opinion, is extremely coordinated. I do think that this is all by design. And I want to take you guys all the way back to December 7th of 2022. And this is from Crypto Eddie. And we do see the $65 trillion off the balance sheet debt the BIS issued a report on, with its murky view of just how close we might be to a liquidity crisis, which in my opinion, 2023 so far has confirmed how tight liquidity is, with a lot of these banks going belly up. In my opinion, will set the CBDC narrative into hyper mode. I completely agree. I think that we're already kind of starting to see CBDCs becoming a much larger talking point, especially with what the BRICS are doing. I think it's really kind of got a lot of people speculating on what could happen next around this BRICS scenario, around what the US is going to do. We've seen recently the Financial Committee, Congress, sending out a letter to Jerome Powell talking about banks with their own stablecoins and issuing their own stablecoins. It seems as though the digital revolution is nearly upon us. And we do see, because injecting liquidity with today's inflation is not ideal, XRP might help. And check this out. This is from the policy director at APAC at Ripple. Listen closely to what he has to say in this clip.
Now, here at Ripple, we've built a CBDC private ledger that is based on the same blockchain technology that powers the XRP ledger, which was built for payments and designed for issuing currencies. Each central bank will have complete sovereignty and ability to customize their CBDC based on their own unique privacy and policy requirements. Neutral bridge currencies like XRP, which is an open source, public, and decentralized digital asset, will play a key role in facilitating such interoperability. And keeping sustainability in mind, the CBDC private ledger is carbon neutral and 120,000 times more efficient than proof of work blockchains.
So yeah, we do know that Ripple has been ahead of the game in terms of CBDC, stablecoins, things like that. We also do know how liquid XRP actually is. We also do know from many posts in the past, right? We've gone over a lot of Ripple documents. We've gone over a few things around how XRP could very well solve this liquidity crisis that is growing. And it's not just going to be XRP, in my opinion. I think that we could very well see a few assets being channeled through this. But realistically speaking, when we look at this new digital system, the reason why they are trying to push heavy on this, transformation happening around CBDC, stablecoins, digital assets, tokenization, it's all because it opens the door of opportunity to realize the idea of injecting liquidity within the system. Right now, you can't do that. Inflation is a big obstacle. Everything that is happening around our current system is really kind of becoming a big lock, if you will, that we need to get past in order to inject liquidity into the system, because right now liquidity is at the tightest spot it's been in for a very long time. And this is a big problem, right? So as we really kind of look at this, I do believe that XRP could very well solve this major liquidity nightmare that is becoming a reality. And I think that it's already really kind of been confirmed with all of the bank collapses so far in 2023. It is not done. I don't believe that this is done. I actually think that we are seeing something much larger brewing under the surface. Most people are overlooking this. I think that this is a 100% must watch in terms of Charles Schwab, simply because of how large they are. Now, also, with that in mind, I do want to talk about a few things that have happened just recently. One of them is the fake news over on Twitter. Again, I want you guys to understand how significant it is to make sure that you are doing your own research. We've seen Elon Musk and the X platform obtain license to store, transfer, and trade Bitcoin and crypto. This is false. I said this license has nothing to do with Bitcoin and crypto. You gotta love these engagement farming accounts. And here we have the tweet. And we do see money transmitter license. What's funny about this is that we recently just seen Ripple also get the same exact license in, I think it was like 30 states. But what do you see down here? This post is inaccurate and misleading. X obtained a currency transmitter license in the state of Rhode Island. This license is required if X were to provide virtual asset related services. There's absolutely no mention of Bitcoin in the licensing filing. But I do think that the X platform is getting closer and closer to actually having digital assets being paid out on the platform. I think that that is something to definitely watch for. I do think that as we look at digital assets, crypto adoption, stablecoins, things like that, it's really kind of building for a big boom event around adoption. I do think that channeling it through Web 2 applications and even platforms like X, for example, is a great gateway to mass adoption. The biggest problem that I do have right now around X is the monetization program, which has given a lot of these accounts this idea of, all right, well, if I just engagement farm the hell out of people, then hey, I get paid much larger amounts, which is happening right now with a lot of these accounts, which I've been very vocal about. But also over in Hong Kong, we've seen a bombshell announcement. This is 4 minutes ago. SIBA Bank secures in principle nod for crypto services in Hong Kong. Now, this is a pretty big update. SIBA Hong Kong's approval joins a flurry of regulated crypto activity that's taken place over the past month. Hong Kong has been a big area around crypto adoption. We do know that Ripple has been working with Hong Kong on CBDC initiatives, as you guys are probably all aware, and also tokenization of real estate and many other use cases through their CBDC. And I think that that is something to mention because I think that this is a pretty big update. And within this, we do see the Hong Kong arm of crypto-friendly Swiss bank SIBA Bank has received in-principle approval from the Hong Kong Securities and Futures Commission, allowing it to deal in virtual assets. And we even see down here, Hong Kong may once again serve as a gateway to China, delivering the significant potential of cryptocurrencies and blockchain technology. And yeah, I mean, listen, this could very well be a big deal. And we even see Hong Kong is well positioned to tap into the Chinese market when it opens up. And we even see down here that on its decision to pursue a local license, SIBA received inquiries from crypto companies who had difficulty in accessing and managing their digital assets holdings via traditional providers. So, you know, now we're starting to see the doors opening and the opportunities becoming a big deal, especially in a lot of these areas like Hong Kong. And we do know that Ripple has made significant traction in the Hong Kong area, building out some very strong connections and partnerships and even CBDC initiatives. This is, again, something to mention because I do think that it really kind of spotlights just how big of a game changer Ripple is for a lot of these areas like Hong Kong and how big of a name Ripple really is becoming outside of the US. And also, last but not least, of course, I know that you guys are probably going to say, Nick, what about the big news? Yep, Justin, crypto asset manager Grayscale wins lawsuit against the SEC. This is actually a pretty big staple piece. I think that this is something to mention. I think that the SEC is getting absolutely slaughtered around these lawsuits, and I think that's very, very exciting to see. I finally, for the first time around this space, I'm finally happy. I'm finally happy to see all of these events from XRP to Custodia Bank to even now Grayscale absolutely shredding the SEC in court. This is a huge win. This is a major staple as well. Just like the Ripple case, just like the Custodia case, this is great. And we even see Grayscale ETF bid to be reviewed after court win against the SEC. The race to have the first spot Bitcoin ETF in America has been ongoing since last month, with asset management firms like BlackRock and Fidelity getting in on the action. Many assume that the offering will be available sooner or later. Now, with an important court victory, we could very well be closing in on that reality. Indeed, crypto asset manager Grayscale has emerged victorious in its lawsuit against the SEC. Therefore, the U.S. Court of Appeals has ordered the SEC to vacate its rejection of the manager's bid to create an ETF, specifically though, or through the conversion of its current Grayscale Bitcoin trust. So, very exciting. Pretty big news. Listen, we have been really kind of looking into this, and we even see a lot of people looking into how much volume these ETFs could push. I've seen a lot of people saying some crazy stuff. They utilize BlackRock's assets under management as a basis to go off of, which I think is just extremely illogical. But nonetheless, it could very well be in the tens of billions to even hundreds of billions of dollars flooding through the space in a very quick time through these ETFs, which I'm very excited about. Like, listen, these are something to really kind of watch for. I think that's something that is very exciting, especially at this current moment in time. Things are looking pretty good, but we still need to play the vigilant role here, and we need to make sure that we are still being cautious, being careful, having stablecoins on the sidelines just in case we see anything crazy happen, because again, there's a lot of things on the back end that could very well cause a major black swan event. So always make sure that you are being aware at all times of what's going on, good and bad, and stay in neutral mindset in terms of like your emotions. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching the video. If you guys did enjoy, definitely leave a like, subscribe, to notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. And with that being said, guys, this has been Nick. Peace out.